Hey there, Coach Devin here. How do small changes in the gym lead to big changes in your body? That's what we're talking about today. Before we get going, click the like button down below and please subscribe. Okay, so people often think they need to make an enormous change in their life if they want results. And it's important to make big changes in your life. I'm not saying it's not, but I will say this, you don't need enormous changes all the time to see a big change. So does that sound a little counterintuitive? Well, of course it sounds counterintuitive, but in reality, it's the truth. A little change can be a big change over time. So imagine this. You're a person who doesn't ever exercise. You do nothing. You just sit on your butt all day. Say you have a job that's super sedentary, you tend to watch TV at night, you don't do anything. And one day you decide, hey, I'm gonna get a little more fit. So you go for a walk one day, and it's like a kilometer, 2 kilometers. The next day, you can kind of feel that. You're like, wow, I can feel that I did something today. Okay, that's great. The next day you go for a walk again, the next day you go for a walk again. Say at the end of a week, and you've walked for half an hour every day. Well, that's a lot of time in the course of a week. If we walk half an hour every day, 3.5 hours in a week. 3.5 hours of walking will burn a lot of calories. And guess what? You will see a definite change in your body over the next week or month as you continue to just walk half an hour every single day. Now, do you want to walk half an hour a day, or are your goals bigger than that? Well, lots of people have big goals out there, and they're thinking, Devin, I'm just walking half an hour. Like, come on, dude, really? Well, I'm here to tell you, actually, this is how it works. So I'm going to tell you a story. I had a client a few years ago, and she came to me, needed to lose a lot of weight. She was about 280 or so pounds, had never been small in her life. She's always been a bigger person and never was athletic, never did anything athletic. She just basically was always a little bit bigger, felt that she couldn't do things to get more fit, and so she just didn't. Now, she was in her 30s, and she decided, you know what? If I don't do something, I may die. She's not a super tall person, so she was concerned. So she came to me and we sat down, we started to do some training. And at the beginning, we would train like in an hour time slot, which is what I usually work with people. She would work, for 25 minutes, 20 minutes, and she'd be pretty beat. She'd be super sore, and then in the morning, she changed her food up, and guess what? Over time, she lost some weight. So her goal was to lose about 130 pounds. And the good news is 11 months later, she was down 135 pounds. That is a big change. 135 pounds, that's a person right there. And not a small person, it's like an adult person for a lot of people. So, okay, that seems like an enormous goal, right? It's just huge. How the heck do you lose 130 plus pounds? Well, in reality, you're just taking little bite-sized pieces of that thing. So she wanted to lose that much weight. It really comes down to saying, okay, I'm gonna lose, 2 or 3 pounds a week. That's actually manageable, right? If you lose 2 pounds a week, or say 3 pounds a week, course of a month, you've lost between 8 and 12 pounds. Over the course of 10 or 11 months, 130 plus pounds. See, it's not really all that hard. You just have to break it down. And that's where a small change can mean a big thing. That's a small goal. Losing a couple pounds can lead into an enormous difference in your body. Well, how did she do that, and how do you do that when you're going out there and exercising? Well, what I can tell you is this. Add a little bit of volume. That's the first thing. If we're talking about exercise, add a little bit of volume to what you're doing, you'll see a big change. So, for example, for me, I decided to change my workout program a little bit recently. I'd done a lot of full body stuff, some HIIT work, a little bit of sort of CrossFit style workouts for a while. Decided, okay, I need to change. I want to try something new. Been reading a lot of super interesting information about volume training. I thought, okay, I'm going to give this a try. So what I did was, instead of doing, say, 10 to 12 sets in a week on chest, which is what I had been doing up to that point, I thought, okay, I got to change this a little bit, make it a little bit more interesting. So what I did is I did circuit training 3 full days in a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And how I broke it down was every week every day, I'm doing a leg exercise, a chest exercise, and a back exercise. I do 6 sets of each one with varying reps. And basically at the end of a week, I've done 18 sets. Okay, it didn't really extend my workouts all that much. I mean, we're talking maybe 10 minutes. It's not a lot, right? As long as you're brisk and you stay on top of things, it works out fine. And interestingly, 3 weeks in, I'm about 3 weeks in, I can see a difference in my body already. Now, what is the difference in that? It's actually only a couple sets. I'm in the 10 to 12 rep range, or set range rather, when I'm working out normally. Okay, so if I do 12 sets on chest, for example, well, all I've done is bump in a few extra sets. So actually, I've added 6 more sets into my workout, that's a lot more reps. You don't think about it all the time, but that is the way it works. So by adding just a few more sets in to each workout, lo and behold, I had way more volume and I can see a difference in my body already. So it doesn't take a big change, it takes a small change. Same thing applies with food. You don't need to make crazy overhauls to your food. You need to make some small changes because small changes add up over time. So how am I talking about small changes over time? Basically like this. If you need to lose a pound of fat, you want to lose 1 pound of fat, you need to burn 3,500 calories, give or take. That seems like a lot of calories, right? You're like, whew, that's a lot. Okay, but that's really not that hard. If you cut 500 calories every single day out of your diet, 1 week, you're down a pound. That's just the science of it. That's how it works. So if you track your diet and you say, okay, I'm going to cut down 500 calories, guess what? You're ahead already. Just from that, you've lost 1 pound. So it's not really all that hard to do. Now, if you add in exercise, if you're somebody who's fairly sedentary, you add in exercise, well, guess what happens now? Well, if you burn an extra 500 calories and you've already down 500 calories in a negative, now you lost 2 pounds in a week. So it's little things sometimes. Well, when people say to me, oh, geez, Deb, 500 calories seems like a lot. Okay, 500 calories really isn't that much if you think about it reasonably. So a lot of junky type food has a lot of calories. A lot of drinks have a lot of calories. Sauces, lots of calories in sauce. Can you cut down a lot of calories easily by being smart about the things you do? 100% you can do that. So how do you do it? How do you go about doing that? Really simply, get rid of any sort of sugary drink you're having. If you're somebody who comes home and has 2 beer, you've put a lot of calories in your body. If you're somebody who comes home and has 2 glasses of wine a night, cut your wine in half. I'm not saying cut it out, cut it in half. You're going to lose, 70 to 150 calories, give or take, a day. That will add up over a week. It's not maybe where you want to go, but it's a piece. If you get rid of, say, the stuff you're drinking, and then you say, all right, I'm going to get rid of all the sauces. I'm not going to have any sauces. Quite often, you can have 100 to 150 calories of sauces in just one meal. So say you do that 2 meals in a day, you're down 200 calories there, plus another 75 to 1. There's 350 calories by cutting out 1 glass of wine and the sauce that you've been having. And you haven't even changed your food. You haven't said, okay, I'm going to get super strict and be tough on my food. No, you haven't done that yet. So that's what I mean. It's a little tiny change adds up, but where it really gets exciting is sort of the compound interest in time down the road. That's where it gets super cool. Because if you cut out 100 calories a day or 500 calories a day, whatever you do, that little bit over the course of a year is a lot. So if you cut out 100 calories a day times 365 days in a year, well, I'm not great at math, but I can tell you that's 36,000 calories. Is that a lot? Yes. Is it a lot for you to drop off a lot of weight? Yeah, it really is. You will lose a lot of weight over the course of a year if you cut out, that 2 glasses of wine in a night. Heck, you cut out 1 glass or 1 beer. You have lost a bunch of weight and you haven't changed anything else. So that's how a little tiny change can make an enormous difference on the back end. And that's all you have to think about. Making a small change, how I can make that small change, and then consistently doing that small change all the time. That's where the magic happens, and that's when the compound interest, so to speak, of fitness breaks in. If you do 1 extra set on a body part every day, so say we're doing arms, you do 1 extra set of arms, or even better, you do 1 more rep every time you do arms. Just instead of 10, you do 11. Okay, so say you train arms like me, you train arms, you do an extra rep once a week, right? Well, that's 1 rep a week. That's 52 reps in the end of a year. If you've done that on every set though, and you do 10 sets, for example, you do 10 sets and you add an extra rep, that's a whole extra set. You've done an extra, you know what I mean? Like you've done 10 extra sets, or reps rather. And when you do those 10 extra reps, well, where are you now? Well, now 10 extra reps times, that's 520 reps in a year. That's where the compound interest of fitness is super cool because it slowly builds itself up. You don't have to be, a rock star knocking it out of the park on the first workout. That's not how fitness works. It's little tiny baby steps done again and again and again until you get it right, and then things work. So think about this going forward. Don't make wholesale changes. Make simple changes that work. make changes that are going to help you and that are sustainable. And that's a huge thing. Sustainable change, things that you can do long term. Then you get the magic of the compound fitness side of things and you'll be way ahead. So don't think big changes, think smaller changes that you can consistently do and you will get amazing results. I put together a great PDF. It's free. It's called Devin's Guide to Amazing Abs. If you click down below, you can get it. And also, please like this channel and you can check us out for some more interesting and cool fitness related stuff. Have yourself a great day. Don't fight the awesome.